Some things don't disappear, they settle beneath the surface. Hello, I'm Alicia, this is crafty.coven. So, what you can see is some of that putty silicone stuff. And all I've done is I've taken one of my skull ornaments and I have shoved its face into it to make a little mould. And I've done the same with some little tiny ones. I'm filling it with eco resin and then realising that I'd left a lovely little gap for the eco resin to run out of. And I'm just going to do that, and I will fill up the little ones as well. I do go on to fill up the larger skull mould 3 times. I don't show you 3 times, you don't need to see that. So here we are for demould, and I'm actually really impressed, considering, like I said, all I did was pushed these skull ornament faces into the mould, not the mould, into the putty. And that putty stuff is awesome. It was only a cheap set from Amazon and it worked really, really well. But yeah, now we have got a wooden board and I'm just priming it with gesso. I prime it twice just to make sure. Do the whole board and the sides, and then I will lightly sand it. Now some satisfying painting. I've never done a clip like that before, so you know, I felt really excited to show you. I painted the entire board sort of like a dark navy blue with a tiny tint of purple in it. I am going around the skulls just so I've got a rough idea on placement. I've also drawn on the back of the skulls so that I know which one I drew around. Even though they're all from the same mould, they're all slightly different shapes. So now we have got PVA glue and we are laying this on thick. And when I say thick, I mean thick. There is no dibble dabbling. We're not doing this nicely. This is shove it on in a nice thick layer, and I am purposely going outwards from each of my skull points. While the glue is still tacky, so I haven't waited for it to dry, I am going over the top with a light blue paint. And again, this is thick, this is not precise. I am purposefully semi-following the lines I made with the PVA glue. And I'm doing that to create a crackle effect. And it come out really, really nice. I was quite impressed actually. Not quite the effect I was going for, but it actually turned out to work out better in the end. Anyways, so now I've got some white paint and a really fluffy blusher brush, and I'm creating a white skull-ish. I'm going for sort of like a ghost. This is just more of an idea that there's something there. We're not being precise with this. This is just almost like a shadow is the idea I'm going for. Then I'm taking some dark purple. I was going to do black, but I had some dark purple left over from another project. So we're using dark purple and we're just going to run with it. And then I'm taking another fluffy makeup brush. I love makeup brushes for like blending out. And we are blending. We want it to be really almost like misty, like seeing something through the fog. That was the general gist of what I was going for. Then I'm going to 5-minute epoxy these skulls on. I've also added some little skulls as well. Now time for some texture paste, because the mould was handmade not very well, as you saw at the beginning. I'm taking texture paste just to sort of shove underneath the skulls. so that it sort of fills the gap. Then I'm taking the same deep purple I used for my ghost skulls. I don't know what else to call them, so we're going to go with ghost skulls. And I am giving my eco resin skulls the same colour so that it's all cohesive. And I'm going for the parts of the skull that are going to be deep in shadow. The eye sockets, the nose, the underneath the cheekbones, a tiny bit on the teeth. Then for the opposite, I'm then taking a tiny bit of silver rub and buff, just to highlight the eyebrows, the bridge of the nose, the top of the cheekbones, that sort of thing. Time for a bit of white paint, and all I'm doing is I'm creating the same sort of ghosty halo that I've got on my my one and a bit painted skulls, so that it's got like a halo behind it, I suppose, a halo of light. Now for a scary part, and I'm not gonna lie, I did this and I started to instantly regret my decision. I have got some, it is slightly off-white, not as off-white as I thought it was, but yeah, it's sort of like a cotton jersey. It's not fully cotton, it's not fully jersey, it's got a tiny bit of stretching, but not a lot. And all I'm doing is I am putting it over the whole piece, but I'm trying to maintain the most tension over the three main skulls. And I want this material to be wrinkled. I want you to see those lines. Now the fun bit, and this took me about an hour just to put Mod Podge on the material. And all I'm doing is I'm going to start with the skulls. We start with the eye sockets because that is the point that I want to be the most tension. So I'm going to do that, and then I work my way out from each skull. And then I will go across the entire canvas, so the entire canvas pretty much gets covered in Mod Podge. I do then go back in and add a second layer of Mod Podge ever so slightly to the skulls, just to elevate them a touch more than the background. I had so much fun doing this project. And I will take this moment to say today's video is part of two collaborations, the Friendship Express and Skull Sunday. The playlists for both will be in my description box below. Please do go and have a look because there will be some fabulous makes in them. Now we've got our dried Mod Podged canvas. That's a mouthful and a half. And I'm taking a cup of tea, and it's not for drinking. We are staining it. It was too white. Like I said, I ordered this material, I ordered it online. I should have gone into a shop and bought it myself, but you know, that's people. Online, it comes to my door. So, quickest way I could think of to fix it, and the easiest way, is grab a tea bag. And you know what, this was really therapeutic, and it took me right back to my childhood. I remember doing this all the time with tea and coffee staining paper, but watching it on fabric was awesome because you could see it dripping and you could see the fabric taking the tea stain. And I'm going to do that, and then I will go into the eye sockets, the nose, again just emphasising those shadows that have disappeared with the material on top. Now this piece is not fabulous in direct sunlight, but some pieces aren't meant to be seen in the light. And this is one that truly gives its best atmospheric beingness. I'm running out of words today. In dim light or candlelight, just as you know the sun is breaking up in the morning or it's setting at night, that is when this piece truly shines. And I have to say, I am in love with it. I love it. And that is all for today. And today I am going to leave you with what's beneath the surface is never truly still.